There's something magical about stepping into a game and feeling the world breathe alongside you. Every street, forest, and desert seems to have stories unfolding, even when you're not watching. It's that sense that the map isn't just a backdrop, but a living organism filled with life, secrets, and depth. Exploring an open world like this means getting lost in its immensity, always finding something new, and that's exactly what turns these games into unforgettable journeys. Before we dive in, tell me, what's your favorite open world game? The one you could explore for hours without ever getting bored. And if you feel like supporting the channel, subscribing really helps us grow. From one gamer to another, let's get started. Cyberpunk 2077 delivers one of the most immersive and detailed open worlds ever made. Night City feels alive, electric, and unpredictable. Every corner hides a story, a threat, or an unforgettable character. The narrative blends seamlessly with the setting, portraying a decaying society ruled by corporations and unchecked desire. The game doesn't just place you in a dystopian future, it makes you feel like you belong there, lost in its neon jungle. Gameplay combines RPG elements with first-person action, giving you the freedom to shape your combat style. Stealth, hacking, or outright chaos, you choose how to handle each moment. That freedom creates a constant feeling of power and consequence, where every decision shifts how the world responds to you. Visually, it's a spectacle. Neon lights, reflections in the rain, and towering skyscrapers build a city that never stops. Even outside missions, wandering the streets at night feels immersive. A pulsing futuristic soundtrack enhances that sense of being trapped in a beautiful nightmare. Cyberpunk isn't just an open world, it's a dive into a future that feels terrifyingly real. It fuses narrative, gameplay, and world building on a rare scale, proving that true greatness in a sandbox lies in making you believe that world keeps going even after you turn the console off. Sunset Overdrive takes a wild turn. Instead of darkness and drama, it gives you chaos, color, and sharp humor. The story follows a city overrun by mutants after a bizarre disaster, but never takes itself seriously. That over-the-top tone gives the game a unique voice, making it a hilarious satire within the genre. Gameplay is fast and flashy. Movement is everything. Wall running, rail grinding, and bouncing through the map turns traversal into pure fun. Combat matches that energy, with absurd weapons turning every fight into a cartoonish explosion of style. The open world is built like a playground. Every district encourages exploration through alternate routes, hidden paths, and mini challenges that mesh perfectly with your mobility. It feels like a post-apocalyptic amusement park, where every street invites another crazy stunt. Sunset Overdrive proves an open world doesn't need to be somber or serious. It thrives on energy, humor, and momentum, a city that feels like a character itself. It grabs you not by drama, but by joy, making you laugh as you tear through it. Horizon Zero Dawn creates one of the most fascinating open worlds in gaming. Picture a land reclaimed by nature but inhabited by massive machines shaped like animals. This blend of future tech and primal landscapes feels truly original, and every region introduces something new. The story follows tribal societies trying to make sense of a lost civilization, and that mystery adds weight to every step you take. Combat is all about strategy. Machines are tough, and you need to think, analyze weaknesses, set traps, and use bows or tools to bring them down. Every hunt feels like a battle for survival, and you're always just one mistake away from being overwhelmed. The map is huge and diverse. Open plains, dense forests, deserts, and snowy peaks ensure that exploration never grows stale. Each biome has its own machines and challenges, reinforcing the feeling of a world that lives and evolves. Horizon Zero Dawn sticks with you because it balances story, mechanics, and environment so well. The mystery of the machines, the beauty of nature, and the thrill of discovery make every moment unforgettable. It's a game that gives you reasons to explore every inch. Sleeping Dogs brings urban authenticity to the open world. Set in a city full of culture, contrast, and tension, the story follows a gritty police drama tangled in loyalty and betrayal. You're placed between criminal factions and undercover duties, with each mission carrying emotional weight and consequence. Gameplay is a seamless mix of styles: brutal martial arts style hand-to-hand combat, high-speed chases, gunfights, and investigation scenes keep things fresh. Its pacing stays tight, and every system feels like it belongs. The world is compact but alive. Streets, markets, alleys, and skyscrapers pulse with life and culture. Side events and interactions make the setting feel real. This isn't just a backdrop, the city breathes alongside the story, giving it depth. Sleeping Dogs proves a world doesn't need to be massive to be memorable. With rich detail and bold personality, it turns a dense urban sprawl into a gripping experience. The game blends action, story, and setting into something unforgettable. Assassin's Creed Odyssey drops you into a monumental ancient Greece, where every island, city, and ruin feels like it was recreated with care. The story weaves myth and history, placing you in the middle of a war between Athens and Sparta. But more than that, it lets you shape your own Odyssey through temples, sea voyages, and massive battles. Combat evolves with new skills and flashier mechanics. You can strike from the shadows or go head-on, using special moves and customizable gear. Dialogue choices and branching paths give you real control over the story and its outcome. The map is gigantic, one of the biggest ever seen in an open-world RPG. Traveling by sea, scaling mountains, and uncovering lost ruins is as satisfying as any main quest. Legendary creatures and rich side stories turn exploration into a game of its own. Assassin's Creed Odyssey shines because it merges freedom, immersion, and storytelling. It shows that a sandbox doesn't just need space, it needs soul, turning your journey into a myth all your own. The Outward flips the script completely. You're not a legendary hero, you're just a regular person trying to survive. The story isn't about saving kingdoms, but learning to live in a harsh world where hunger, cold, and sickness are as deadly as monsters. That simplicity makes every step feel like a real accomplishment. Gameplay is rooted in realism, combat is tough and methodical. You have to prepare, pack supplies, and rest before diving into danger. Resource management is always on your mind, turning short trips into risky expeditions. That tension defines the experience. The world is vast and secretive. Towns, forests, caves, and deserts hold threats you might not be ready for. Exploration is slow and thoughtful. No guiding hand, no markers. You observe, decide, and choose your direction with care. It's unforgiving, but it feels real. The Outward proves that open worlds don't need power fantasies to be compelling. Survival is the reward. It grabs you by flipping the genre's formula. You're not a hero, just someone trying to make it through a world that doesn't care if you do. Watch Dogs 1 brought the open world concept into a high-tech lens, turning the city itself into your weapon. The story centers on surveillance, control, and the power of information, where every camera and device can be turned into an ally or threat. This setup builds a constant sense of tension, like the environment is always watching and ready to respond. Gameplay blends traditional action with unique hacking mechanics. You can invade systems, manipulate traffic lights, blow transformers, and use city infrastructure to trigger chaos. Gunfights and stealth work well together, but the real identity comes from how you bend technology to your will. The open world is a recreation of Chicago, full of busy streets, dynamic traffic, and civilians with unique routines. The setting feels alive, with small details like overheard conversations or random personal data deepening immersion. The city isn't just a backdrop, it's an active part of gameplay, where every corner might hold a new opportunity. Watch Dogs 1 left its mark by daring to bring a new concept to the genre. It made the city feel like a character, showing that an open world can be just as thrilling through tech-driven gameplay as it is through explosive action. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the finest examples of a truly living open world. Set at the twilight of the outlaw era, it explores the collapse of a way of life and the rise of modern civilization. This backdrop creates a powerful, melancholic narrative where every mission carries a sense of inevitability. It feels like a cinematic epic come to life. Every gameplay element reinforces realism. Gunfights feel heavy and deliberate, but there's more. Hunting, fishing, cooking, even caring for your horse become part of your daily rhythm. The attention to detail turns even mundane tasks into unforgettable moments. The world itself is breathtaking. Dense forests, sprawling deserts, winding rivers, and snow-capped peaks blend into towns full of life. The varied biomes and sheer scale impress, making every journey an adventure with surprises and emerging stories along the way. Red Dead Redemption 2 is unforgettable because it combines massive scale with intimacy. It makes you believe the world keeps breathing even when you're not around. That living, reactive world turns the game into something far greater than a typical adventure. Dragon's Dogma: Dark Arisen offers a dangerous, mysterious open world where every step outside the city walls could be your last. The story starts simple, but evolves into a mythical journey filled with legends and monstrous threats. It feels like wandering a wild, uncharted land where curiosity is as rewarding as it is deadly. Combat is one of its greatest strengths. You can climb towering beasts to strike weak points, cast devastating spells, or battle in brutal melee encounters. The system gives epic weight to every clash, letting you build unique classes and fighting styles that suit your preferences. The map is vast and intimidating, filled with dark forests, deep caves, and crumbling fortresses. Exploration demands preparation. Leaving town without supplies can be fatal. Day-night cycles raise the tension, as deadlier foes emerge in the dark, forcing you to think twice before wandering too far. Arisen is remembered not for its scenery alone, but for creating a savage, unpredictable world. It constantly reminds you that every victory must be earned, and every defeat teaches you to respect its wild, mysterious land. Elden Ring reshaped how we think about open-world RPGs. Its story is told in fragments, layered with symbolism and unanswered questions. That lack of clear guidance turns the narrative into a puzzle you piece together yourself. Every ruin, every enemy, every boss feels like a chapter in a legend written by your hand. Combat keeps the signature from software challenge, but expands it across a massive world. You can face powerful foes early, or explore, retreat, and return stronger later. That freedom makes every decision part of your journey, and every hard-earned victory more meaningful. The map is immense. Open fields, poisonous swamps, foggy woods, ruined castles, and shadowy caves all connect naturally, full of secrets waiting to be found. Vertical exploration and hidden paths create constant surprises. Riding your mount opens up the terrain even more, turning travel into a key part of the adventure. Elden Ring stands out because it offers more than difficulty, it offers agency. Every step feels earned, and every hidden truth discovered feels personal. Few open worlds feel as grand and yet as intimately crafted as this one. Far Cry 4 takes you to a mountainous, exotic region riddled with conflict and stunning scenery. The narrative places you amid a civil war, where opposing factions clash over a land steeped in tradition and violence. The story blends seamlessly with the world, turning each mission into a slice of a larger, ongoing struggle. Gameplay offers complete freedom. Storm enemy bases with heavy firepower or sneak in with stealth and cunning. From helicopters to elephants, the variety of vehicles makes each skirmish unpredictable and exhilarating. That flexibility keeps the game fresh. There's never just one way to complete a task. The map is rich and expansive. Towering peaks, remote villages, and hidden temples form a setting that's both breathtaking and dangerous. The rugged terrain makes every climb or descent an adventure. Random animal encounters can turn quiet moments into chaotic survival. Far Cry 4 is memorable because it merges explosive gameplay with a world full of character. It draws you in not just through missions, but through the way the environment constantly responds to your actions, making you feel like a true part of its living, breathing conflict. Death Stranding is a divisive game, but no one can deny its open world is one of the most unique ever crafted. The narrative blends sci-fi, human drama, and deep symbolism, presenting a landscape ravaged by supernatural catastrophe. It explores isolation, connection, and the struggle to rebuild in a broken world. That reflective tone turns every step into something larger than just covering ground. Gameplay is unlike anything else. Crossing hostile terrain, balancing cargo, and plotting routes become constant challenges. Simply walking becomes a central mechanic, amplified by the physical weight of deliveries and threats from human enemies and mysterious forces. It's a game that demands patience, but rewards you with a singular sense of achievement. The open world is both stunning and desolate. Snowy mountains, ruined plains, and dangerous rivers create an environment that feels harsh yet awe-inspiring. Music cues arrive at just the right moments, turning solitary treks into emotional highlights. That mix of silence and score leaves a rare impact. Death Stranding stands out because its world isn't just scenery, it's a narrative force. It makes you feel the weight of loneliness and the power of the connections you build along the way, turning your journey into something deeply personal. Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 commits to absolute realism, crafting a medieval open world that feels pulled from a history book. Its story dives into political and religious turmoil, filled with betrayal, conflict, and territorial wars. There's no magic or fantasy, just the raw, difficult life of the era, where every decision is loaded with consequence. That unfiltered tone gives the game a unique voice in the genre. Gameplay demands focus and preparation, especially in combat. Battles aren't fast or flashy, they follow historical swordplay, where stance, stamina, and weapon knowledge matter most. It rewards skill and patience, with even one-on-one duels feeling intense. Survival mechanics like hunger, rest, and gear upkeep push immersion even further. The world is richly detailed. Villages, castles, farmlands, and dense woods feel authentically medieval. NPCs have daily routines, markets open and close, and weather and time affect gameplay. Exploration isn't just fun, it's educational, showing how daily life worked in that era. Kingdom Come 2 captivates because every success feels earned. There are no shortcuts, only effort and learning. That authenticity turns the game into more than an adventure. It's a full historical immersion where survival itself is a triumph. Just Cause 3 takes the opposite route. Forget realism, this world is built for explosive fun. The story puts you in a Mediterranean island under tyranny, but the real focus is destruction. The plot simply sets the stage for mayhem in one of the most interactive sandboxes ever made. Gameplay is pure adrenaline. Your grapple hook and wingsuit let you fly across the map with flair, while wild weapons and vehicles turn every encounter into a fireworks show. Chaos is encouraged, with chain reactions and improvised tactics making every fight unpredictable. The open world is vast and made to be torn apart. Villages, military bases, and scenic coastlines are all designed to host high-octane destruction. Even gas stations or bridges become tools for creativity and chaos. Just Cause 3 hooks you by putting fun first. It doesn't try to be deep, it gives you a world meant to be played with. Every explosion tells its own story, and each mission becomes a spectacle of glorious disorder. Subnautica trades solid ground for an ocean of mystery. The premise is simple: you crash land on an alien planet covered in water, and survival begins. But it's the underwater world that steals the show. Each dive reveals new creatures, biomes, and silent ruins that tell a story without words. Gameplay centers on survival and exploration. You must hunt food, manage oxygen, and build shelters to endure a hostile world. Vulnerability is constant, as deep seas hide both valuable resources and massive terrors. That mix of wonder and dread makes every dive unpredictable. The map is deep and diverse. From sunlit shallows to abyssal trenches, every region feels distinct, with its own ecosystem and threats. Exploration is rewarding, offering crafting materials and secrets that slowly reveal the planet's past. Ambient sounds heighten the suspense, turning silence into tension. Subnautica succeeds by turning exploration into suspense. The ocean becomes a character, sometimes welcoming, sometimes terrifying, always mysterious. It's a different kind of open world, where each descent feels like discovery and danger rolled into one. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth expands the series with one of its biggest maps yet, blending Japanese flair with Hawaii's sun-soaked charm. The story keeps the franchise's signature tone, dramatic yet comedic, mixing heartfelt moments with absurd twists. That contrast keeps the narrative engaging from start to finish. Combat remains turn-based, but it's more strategic and theatrical than ever. Moves range from outrageous to epic, making battles feel like both duels and performances. A robust upgrade system lets you explore diverse fighting styles while diving into dozens of side activities. The open world shines bright. From beaches to city streets and tourist spots, it's packed with personality. Side quests, mini-games, and bizarre encounters give the setting life. There's always something strange or heartfelt around the corner, keeping exploration rewarding. Infinite Wealth thrives by balancing emotional depth with chaotic fun. Its open world is full of surprises, where every street might hide a heartfelt story or a laugh-out-loud encounter. That balance is what makes it unforgettable. The Long Dark doesn't rely on monsters or magic. Nature is the enemy. After a disaster plunges the world into endless winter, survival becomes your only goal. The story is minimal, but powerful. It's not about saving the world, just lasting one more day. That simplicity creates a haunting, grounded atmosphere. Gameplay focuses on pure survival. You manage hunger, thirst, temperature, and fatigue while dodging wolves and avoiding deadly snowstorms. Every resource is vital, and even a small mistake can end your run. Lighting a fire or finding food becomes a victory, pushing the tension with every decision. The open world is a frozen wasteland, both beautiful and threatening. Snow-covered peaks, frozen lakes, and silent cabins fill the landscape. Natural sounds like wind howls or distant predators replace music, amplifying the isolation. The Long Dark is unforgettable because it makes cold and silence your enemies. It builds tension without chaos, using darkness and desperation instead. It proves an open world doesn't need spectacle, just the quiet threat of not making it through the night. Shadow of the Colossus is poetry in the form of an open world. The story is simple and mysterious. A young man sets out to save someone dear to him by facing towering creatures in a desolate land. That simplicity gives space for silence, scale, and the colossi to speak for themselves. Each encounter becomes a ritual, a mix of challenge and melancholy that makes the journey feel greater than mere action. The gameplay is unique. There are no common enemies, only colossal bosses scattered across the map. Climbing these giants, finding their weak points, and bringing them down demands both thought and skill. But every victory feels bittersweet, as if something is being lost with each fallen beast. The open world is vast, yet intentionally empty. Endless plains, forgotten temples, silent deserts, and towering mountains create an atmosphere of loneliness and mystery. The lack of typical activities highlights the magnitude of each Colossus, making the journey to them feel like a pilgrimage. Shadow of the Colossus moves people because it turns emptiness into meaning. It creates a contemplative space where silence, landscapes, and colossal battles combine to deliver a rare impact. This world doesn't aim to overwhelm with quantity, but with intensity. Mad Max turns the desert into a living character. The story drops you in a ruined world where survival depends on fuel, improvised weapons, and brute strength. The plot is straightforward, showing a lawless land ruled by violent factions, but the real weight comes from the atmosphere. Every ruin, dust storm, and abandoned road reinforces the feeling of living on the edge. Gameplay revolves around brutal melee combat and vehicular warfare. Your car is your primary weapon, and upgrading it is essential. High-speed chases, deadly battles, and resource management form a loop of action and survival. The world is unforgiving, making each win more rewarding. The map is wide and seemingly barren, yet full of secrets. Enemy camps, fortresses, and ruins hide missions, rewards, and constant threats. Sandstorms create intense moments, turning simple trips into battles against nature itself. That unpredictability keeps the desert from ever feeling empty. Mad Max is gripping because its open world is perfectly aligned with its tone, hostile, violent, and desperate, yet fascinating. It turns scarcity and chaos into fun, creating a survival experience at full throttle. The Witcher 3 is hailed as one of the greatest RPGs ever made, thanks largely to its open world. The story is deep, packed with moral choices that are never simple, and each decision affects characters and the world around them. It blends war, political intrigue, and ancient myths, crafting an epic that feels like a living novel. Gameplay balances action and strategy, combat demands preparation, with potions, spells, and enemy research all playing vital roles. Hunting monsters means more than fighting. You investigate, track, and outthink them. That depth makes every mission meaningful, even side quests. The map is massive and alive. Villages with personal dramas, bustling cities full of secrets, dense forests, and dangerous swamps build a world that never feels artificial. Even side missions carry weight, showing how the world reacts to your choices. It feels like a universe that lives on, even when you're not looking. The Witcher 3 remains special because it thrives on depth, not just scale. It tells stories within stories, making each journey memorable, not just for its size, but for the emotional weight behind every moment. Nier Automata presents an open-world blending philosophy, action, and sorrow. The story is layered and explores themes like identity, purpose, and existence in a ruined world. Every mission, line of dialogue, and multiple ending deepens this reflection, turning the narrative into something far beyond the norm. It feels both epic and intimate, leaving you thinking long after you stop playing. Gameplay is a spectacle. Fast, stylish combat blends dodging, combos, and special moves in intense battles. Switching between hack and slash, third-person shooting, and bullet hell moments creates a game that always surprises and never feels stale. The open world is dark and haunting, full of remnants from a lost civilization. Forests swallowing skyscrapers, endless deserts, and collapsed cities form a landscape that's as vast as it is lonely. The environment isn't just a backdrop, it's part of the story, reinforcing the sense of drifting through a world with no clear future. Nier Automata leaves a mark because every detail carries meaning. From the map to the music to the quiet moments, everything contributes to a universe that questions the player. It's an open world built not just to entertain, but to provoke and linger emotionally. Arkham Knight closes the Dark Knight saga in epic fashion, delivering a gritty, vibrant open world. The story is rich, exploring paranoia, fear, and the consequences of past actions as you're pitted against iconic villains and the threat that feels unstoppable. It blends action with introspection, portraying a hero at his most vulnerable. Gameplay maintains the fluid, intense combat the series is known for while adding new dimensions. The Batmobile changes how you chase and fight, expanding your interaction with Gotham. Combined with stealth, gadgets, and direct attacks, it offers immense versatility. Gotham is at its grandest here. Dark streets, lit skyscrapers, and dangerous alleys create a city that breathes dread and tension. The atmosphere is heavy, making Gotham feel like a character reacting to your actions and the spreading chaos. Arkham Knight stands out by merging story, gameplay, and world into one seamless flow. It's not just another open-world game, it's a powerful depiction of the burden of heroism in a city that never sleeps. Around every corner, Gotham reminds you, carrying this weight is a constant fight. Days Gone throws you into a post-apocalyptic open world that goes far beyond enemies and missions. It conveys feelings of loneliness, loss, and fragility, with every deserted road and every forest swallowed by silence. The narrative focuses on survival and human bonds in a broken world, where every encounter could bring either hope or danger. It shifts between tense moments and personal conversations, constantly reminding you that certainty doesn't exist in times of collapse. The gameplay blends intense action with survival mechanics. Combat is varied with brutal melee, firearms, and stealth strategies to avoid drawing attention. What truly sets the game apart is the motorcycle. More than just transportation, it's vital to your survival. Managing fuel, repairing damage, and customizing parts becomes second nature, forging a connection between rider and machine. Without it, exploring is dangerous. With it, every journey feels like a gamble against the unknown. The map is massive and full of unpredictability. Dense forests hide ambushes, abandoned towns hold secrets, and ruined cities create a haunting atmosphere that never feels empty. But what really leaves an impression are the infected hordes, hundreds of creatures swarming at once, turning any encounter into a massive fight for survival. Running through open terrain with a flood of enemies at your back is unforgettable, something few games manage to deliver. Days Gone grips you because it captures the brutality and weight of surviving in a world without safety. It's not just about killing enemies, it's about knowing when to fight, when to run, and how to manage every resource. It builds a sense that every win is fleeting and every loss could be permanent. That constant pressure turns simply staying alive into a victory in itself. Shadow of War builds on the foundation of the first game and brings fantasy to an epic level within the open-world genre. The story revolves around war, revenge, and power, exploring the cost of fragile alliances and enemies always one step ahead. The narrative grows alongside the player's progression, making you feel like you're in the middle of an endless war where every decision shifts the conflict's path. This narrative scale connects directly to gameplay, reinforcing the weight of every triumph. Combat is fluid, intense, and deeply satisfying, but what really makes it stand out is the Nemesis system, turning each enemy into a memorable character. Rivals remember past encounters, evolve, carry scars, and return stronger, making every battle personal. This mechanic leads to unique, emergent stories where even a surprise loss can ignite an epic rivalry that lasts hours. On top of that, commanding armies and conquering fortresses increases the scope, giving you the sense that you're truly part of a living war. The map is split into distinct regions, each with its own weather, biomes, and threats. From misty forests to harsh deserts and massive strongholds, the world is built for variety, ensuring exploration always feels rewarding. Every conquered region becomes a milestone in your journey, creating a real sense of progression. The feeling that the world is reacting to your choices brings authenticity to the entire experience. Shadow of War stays memorable because it doesn't just tell a fantasy story, it turns you into the author of your own war saga. The mix of dynamic enemy systems and a vibrant world means no two playthroughs feel the same. It's the kind of game that makes an open world feel endless, because every session is filled with unrepeatable moments that leave their mark. And now I want to hear from you. Which of these open worlds left the biggest impression on you, and why? Drop your answer in the comments. I read everything. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button to help the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you won't miss any of the upcoming lists. And while you're here, click the recommended video on the screen. I know you'll love it too.